Hi guys, it's Mena, and today in this video I'm going to do my top 10 chemo tips. So, a lot of you guys know, if you watch my channel and you saw my video of the story of how I went through chemo, which I'll have a link to in the description box down below if you're interested in that video. And, I thought it'd be fun to do, not fun, I thought it'd be nice to do tips about going through chemo. So this is just in case any of you guys are going through chemo, or if you're a parent and you have a child who's going through chemo. So I'm gonna talk about like some of my tips that my mom and I came up with when I went through chemo, and hopefully this is really helpful for all of you guys who are either going through chemo or have a child who's going through chemo. So I'm gonna get started, and I probably will do a Q&A about chemo. If you guys have any questions, leave them on my Instagram. My Instagram is on my YouTube channel. It is, I think, Nitwit101291. I think it's that one. So, yeah. If you wish that, you can also wish to see that. If you wish to have any questions, just leave them on my Instagram. It is Nitwit101291. And also feel free to follow me on Instagram as well. Well, my Instagram is on my channel too. So I'm gonna get started. With my chemo tip. Yeah, I'm going to get started with my chemo tips. So here we go. Number one on my list would have to be bring your favorite stuffed animals. So this is what I did when I went through chemo. Is I always brought my two favorite stuffed animals: my teddy bear Julie, who you guys have seen in a ton of my videos, and my bear that my cousin gave, with the periwinkle vest that my cousin gave me. And I took those whenever I went through to stuffed animals whenever I went to the hospital going through chemo. Julie I take all the time with my to my surgeries, because she was like my first, because when I got my first actual surgery I took her with me, because I've had her since I was 7 years old. I love Julie. Please ignore that was my cell phone. And yeah, so I took her all the time with me when I went through chemo, like with my pretty much through all my surgeries I took her to, because she was my surgery buddy. And she kept me company when I was in the hospital along with my mom. And she was also with me when I got my Broviac, the tube in my chest, replaced. Number two on my list had to be bring favorite movies. Now, when I went through chemo, the hospital that I went to only had like 4 TV channels, which wasn't really that good. So we would bring movies to occupy me, and I loved going to the movie store. Well, back when I was a kid, we had video stores, and we go to video stores and we'd pick up movies. We couldn't just like watch them on the internet like we do today. And the hospital always had VHS tapes. And again, just in case for those who don't know what a VHS tape, I'm gonna get one out for you. So this is what a video cassette looks like. This is what they had when I was a kid, like pretty much throughout the 90s. This is what we had to watch movies on when I was little and when I was in the hospital. Because all they had was VCRs. They didn't have DVD players, or they didn't have like movies on the internet like we do today. They had video cassettes, and that's how I'd always watch movies in the hospital. Hospital was these things. So a video cassette was like a way you could watch a movie over and over again. Instead of like going on the internet. And the hospital didn't have like DVD players and stuff like that. Yeah, so just if your hospital doesn't have a lot of like channels, just bring like any movie, just bring a whole bunch of movies to watch. That's what I did when I went through chemo. So number 3 on my list would have to be eat what you like. So for those who don't know, chemo has a tendency to change your taste buds, and sometimes you will not like the food that you've always liked. Like here's an example. When I went through chemo, I did not like strawberries, and for those who, and a lot of you guys know, if you watch my channel, you know that strawberries are my favorite fruit of all time. But when I went through chemo, I did not like them at all. Because when you go through chemo, it has a weird tendency to change your taste buds. Like, this is how I could tell if I didn't like something going through chemo. If I couldn't taste it, it means I didn't like it. I don't know, it was really weird. So when you go through chemo, try to test your taste buds and eat, like, only the food you like. Because when you go through chemo, you have to eat a lot. But sometimes you won't like a lot of foods that you are normally like. Like, just try to eat what you like going through chemo. Just don't eat the foods that you don't like. Like, and also another good tip is to bring your own food, pretty much, because even though the hospital provides you food, it doesn't really taste that good. Good, trust me, I've tried it before. Number 5 on my list would have to be bring extra blankets. Now, I think this is a pretty good tip because when you go through chemo, sometimes when you're in a hospital room, it's always freezing cold. That's what I had when I went through chemo, is the hospital room that I was in was always freezing cold. So my mom would bring extra blankets, and my mom and dad would always bring a sleeping bag and stuff like that. Yeah, my mom and dad would always bring sleeping bags. Like, I remember bags, or sometimes the hospital would provide them with blankets and stuff so then they could sleep. But one time I remember my mom didn't really like the chair in the hospital that I went to for my knee surgery, so they had to sleep. So my parents both brought, like, sleeping bags, so they had to sleep on the floor. Poor mom and dad. Because the chairs weren't very comfortable. Well, they didn't mind the chairs in the hospital I would normally go to, but in the other hospital, that was pretty far away, they didn't like the chairs. They didn't mind sleeping in the chairs in the hospital I normally go to, though. No, but the thing is, if you guys go, but back to the hospital tips anyway, sorry. If you guys go to the hospital, just make sure you bring, like, extra warm blankets, because the hospital rooms do get pretty cold, and the hospital blankets that they have for the beds, they're not really that warm, to be honest. Number 6 on my list would have to be bring activities. Now, this is a good idea, because sometimes in the hospital you will get bored and stuff like that, like watching movies. So my advice is to just bring activities. Like, I would, like, either bring crocheting, or sometimes I actually bring, like, activities that my friends would give me, and then sometimes I'd also bring like, paper to draw my own cartoons. I used to draw my own cartoons. My mom even still, I think, has one of them that she remembers by heart. Like, I drew a picture of my brother breaking his nose and wearing a cast on his nose. I don't remember that well, but my mom does. She still has it somewhere. I don't know where she still has it. Yeah, like, I'd bring paper to draw, or a tablet to draw, or, like, I would just bring, like, a book to read or something, or activities to do. It kind of depended on what I was really in the mood for. Or, yeah, so just bring, or sometimes I'd bring my Game Boy back when I'd play, like, my DS and stuff like that. Sometimes I'd play my games and stuff, and that kept me occupied as well. So just bring whatever occupies you. Number 7 on my list has to be wear hats or a wig. Now, this is what I did not do going through chemo, because I didn't feel my head getting cold, but I would wear, I would just probably just, like, sit with my head bald, because back when I was a kid, I didn't really wear hats that much, but my mom kind of made me wear them when I was going out in the sun. Because it was pretty hot and stuff. Because she didn't want my bald head to get sunburned. And then you can also wear a wig if you guys like wigs. I hated wearing a wig because I would get so sweaty and gross. Not really sweaty and gross, my head would get so sweaty and gross. That's one thing I hated about wearing a wig, because I had to wear a bandage to make it fit around my head. It was just, like, all sweaty and itchy. I hated it, yeah. Number 8 on my list have to be drink lots of water. Now this is one requirement you have to do when you go through chemo, is you have to drink a lot of water. They make you have to drink a lot of water. Like my mom would tally, like, so this is the way my mom kept track of like how much water I would drink was she would tally like all my water, and then she'd number my water bottles from 1 to 5. So I'd be drinking so much water and stuff like that, and sometimes my stomach would get so full from the water. Yeah, trust me, it was like really annoying, but oh well, I had to do it to stay healthy and go through chemo. And sometimes I hated drinking so much water, but it was like the only way I could stay healthy going through chemo. Number 9 in my list would have to be prepared at night. So there's times you'll probably have to go to, so if you guys have kids, there's probably times when you'll have to go to the bathroom at night. So if your kid has to go to the bathroom, make sure they tell you so then you can walk with them and hold their like little thingy that their cords are attached to go to the bathroom, because they can't, if they're too little, they might pull them out and it will really hurt. Yeah, because my parents liked it pretty much if I woke them up so I could go to the bathroom, but sometimes I would do it by myself so then I wouldn't have to wake them up so much, because sometimes I'd have to wake them up probably like 3 or 5 times every single night so I could go to the bathroom with me. Because like the liquid from the medications and the chemo, going into your heart make you have to go to the bathroom so much. It's just crazy. And then I felt bad sometimes waking up my mom and dad at night, which they didn't mind, but I kind of liked going to the bathroom by myself so then I wouldn't have to wake them up so much. I've done it several times. Well, actually one time I remember doing it. My dad didn't really like that because I guess he got worried or something. So yeah, but I kept feeling bad by waking both him and my mom up to walk me to the bathroom sometimes. So parents, be prepared. If your child has to go to the bathroom, first walk with them to the bathroom, and then through several times, and then if they feel comfortable going by themselves, just let them go by themselves. Number 10 on my list would have to be don't eat anything right after taking certain medications. Now, one time, this was a really annoying thing I did. So one time when I was going through chemo, I accidentally ate cereal right after I took this liquid medication, and I threw up. I know, I'm sorry, it's disgusting, but I literally like threw up right after I took it, which wasn't a very good idea. Well, because I didn't know I wasn't supposed to eat anything right after I did it, because I didn't read the directions on the packages, and I'm like, packages, whoops, my bad. Because sometimes it'll make you throw up, so be aware if you can eat something right after you take it, but I'd probably just wait a little bit and let it digest for like almost probably an hour, depending on the medication and stuff. So just be safe. Do not drink anything. Eat or drink anything probably right after taking some medications going through chemo, because you will not feel good. Trust me. Okay, so those are my top 10 chemo tips. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye. I'm sorry this was so long.